if we are ready to go, let's kick off Mock Draft Monday. With the first overall pick, we're going to have Gavin McKenna going to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like we said, the draft starts at number 2. And with the second overall pick, the San Jose Sharks will have their pick made by Harman Dayal.
Okay, I am going to take Ivar Stenberg. I think it's going to be close for the Sharks. I think it's a legit debate between Stenberg and Reed there. Obviously, from a Canucks perspective, you want Stenberg to fall, but Greer said after the availability that he's going to take who he believes is the best player in that spot, and I think it's hard to overlook Stenberg's historic production, how great he looked at Worlds, all that good stuff.
Tyson, you are on the clock.
Obviously, Ivar Stenberg would have been the dream, would have been the pick. Thanks, Harm. I think, I don't know, you're hearing some reports now that I think David Bagnota had it, that he doesn't believe the Canucks are going to take Caleb Malhotra, so I won't go that way. I'm not. What I would do is pick Carson Karls, but they haven't really been linked to him. I'm going to go Chase Reed.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Could you imagine a GM walking up to the stage mic and saying all that? Like, there's been some reports. I would do this, or instead we're going to go this direction. Come on up here, young man. Make your pick.
You can explain yourself after.
Okay, you got to explain yourself here. I'm not making the pick at the podium right now.
This is why we go an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, make your pick, and then you can explain yourself after. But it's going to be Chase Reed at number 3?
Yeah.
Chase Reed at number 3.
I know a lot of people are probably going to hate that with all the American stuff going on, but it seems like they're super, super high on him. They took him out to dinner at the Combine, so I'm going to go defenseman Chase Reed.
I think that's a good pick. All right, number 4. Sorry, Jacob, can I go? Can we just do it that way?
Yeah, you're on the clock. Number 4 for the Chicago Blackhawks.
Number 4, Carson Karels. I really like Carson Karels. Tyson's completely sold me on him, and I think he's a good fit for the Blackhawks. I think the Blackhawks don't really... They've had some good defense prospects, but none of them have really panned out, and I'm not really high on particularly any of them. So I'm going Carson Karels here. I think that's a great pick. That's what I'm going with.
All right, Carson Karels to Chicago. So we will head over to Dave Hall. Dave, you are drafted.
I'd also like to just jump in. Sorry, Jacob. Right now, except for the fact that Stenberg went 2 and Reed went 3, we have the exact draft order of Steven Ellis's latest mock draft. He has Caleb Malhotra all the way down to 5. So if that's what Dave goes with, it'll be exact, but there's an option here because Viggo Bjork on Steven's list went 6th here. Dave, I'm excited to see what you come up with.
So setting it up for Dave, drafting for the New York Rangers at number 5 overall.
Yeah, it sucks because I really thought Quads was going to go somewhere else. So I was actually already running up to the podium to draft Carson Karels. I just think he's a perfect New York Ranger. But, the Rangers do need a nice culture setter. And although I personally have Viggo Bjork ranked higher, I'm going to go Caleb Malhotra here. I just think he's, a solid two-way guy with just an awesome character. So I think for the Rangers, it's an easy pick here. Manny Malhotra's son is going to the Big Apple.
Like father, like son, both getting drafted by the Rangers.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Calgary, I'm Craig Conroy running up to the stage. I'm taking Viggo Bjork.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I got the steal.
Viggo Bjork falling to the Calgary Flames at number 6. All right, the Seattle Kraken now up at number 7. Tyson, take it away.
They love taking their centers, but they can't take one this time. It's time for them to take a defenseman, Eaton Verhoff, right shot defenseman, to the Seattle Kraken.
The Kraken taking the defenseman. And now the Winnipeg Jets with the 8th overall pick. Quads, who are you taking?
I'm going Albert Smits here. I'm going with the guy that has a pretty high floor. Pretty close to NHL already. I don't think his ceiling's all that high, but I think he's going to play NHL games. Feels like a safe bet to do that. I think the Jets would target that and like that, so I'm going with the Jets here. Going with Smits here to the Jets.
Smits to the Jets. Now we have a new team picking at number 9 after the Brady Tkachuk trade. The Ottawa Senators are now on the clock. Dave.
The Ottawa Senators would like to announce a trade. I'm just no, they just lost Brady Tkachuk. If they do elect to keep this one, which I do wonder if they're gonna shop this pick. But if they do decide to trade it, I do think they are looking for some high end skill on the forward group. And so we're going to go a little bit, not off the board, but maybe a little bit early. And we're going to go Wyatt Cullen here. We're just going to bring one of the more dynamic players in this draft, and we're just going to go straight for offense here. So Wyatt Cullen at the number 9 for the Ottawa Senators.
I thought you'd go Ethan Belchetz to replace Brady Tkachuk.
Does he?
Type of profile.
All right, we're going to round out the top 10 now with the Nashville Predators. Back over to Harman.
Yeah, the Preds are in an interesting spot. I think we're going to take Daxon Rudolph. Considered Belchetz there. Both kind of have high-end skill, but Nashville, I think, can swing for ceiling a little bit, and I think Rudolph has a high ceiling case given how much he produced in the dub this year in the back end.
And it's Nashville. They always go D.
Yeah, exactly.
WHL defenseman as well. Just it seems like it's the right fit for Nashville. All right. At number 11 is the St. Louis Blues. Tyson, you're up.
I did some pre-scouting, and I have the 11th pick, St. Louis, and 15th. So if I'm thinking about this, there's a clear break in defenseman, I feel, kind of around this spot, except there's one guy still in that group. So I'm going to take Malte Gustafsson.
Nice.
Malte Gustafsson to the St. Louis Blues. You're right. You got to pick for the Blues twice there, Tyson, as that'll be your next pick as well. Number 12, the New Jersey Devils. Quads.
Ethan Belchet's still on the board? I think so, right?
Ethan Belchet's is still on the board.
Yeah, I'm taking him. Yeah, 6'5". That's one of my big boys. I think the Devils would love to have him. Anybody would be lucky to have him. Ethan Belchet's, Windsor Spitfires.
Belchet's to New Jersey. All right, Dave, you are now picking for the New York Islanders at 13.
This is where it starts to get a little dicey. The New York Islanders, they need a little bit of everything. I think they will go up the middle, and I am going to go Tynan Lawrence here. I do think, he can go behind Matt Barzal. There is a guy that I'm not going to mention his name yet because I don't want to give you guys any ideas that I would maybe go here up the middle, but I think Tynan Lawrence, he'll eventually go, somewhere in this range. So I think for this one, it's a pretty safe pick for them to go behind Matt Barzal. Tynan Lawrence.
Tynan Lawrence falling. I remember a time we were talking about him being a potential number 2 or 3 overall pick in this draft. So,
yeah.
Crazy. Also, I'm going to quickly say, a few people saying, Dave, they're taking issue with you having Ottawa take a U.S. national team development program player in Wyatt Cullen. I will say, Wyatt Cullen's father did play for the Ottawa Senators. So, he played for a lot of teams, and I think it was only a year or 2 that he spent in Ottawa. But, I don't know. Maybe that one won't backfire as much as some people think. But some multiple people, Dave, a little concerned after the news of yesterday that Ottawa would be taking a national team development program.
Well, it's okay because they're going to trade it, so I think they'll be okay.
All right, we are back to Harman now. Correct? Yes, at pick number 14 for the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, this is interesting. I was eyeing Lawrence, so unfortunate that he fell. Columbus, I think they'd maybe prefer a little bit of size here because you look on the wings between Kent Johnson and Connor Garland, they're a little bit small. And even on the back end, while I like the idea of maybe rolling the dice on Ryan Lynn here, you've got Denton Matejchuk, who's a similar player, kind of undersized puck mover who's already panned out. And I don't think they'd want 2 of those guys on the back end. So I'm going to go with Oscar Hemming, winger with a bit of size and some skill.
Oscar Hemming to Columbus. He feels like he would be a Blue Jacket. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It just kind of, that pick kind of makes sense to me. All right, Tyson, back to you at number 15 for the St. Louis Blues. Of course, this was originally Detroit's pick. It was in the Justin Falk trade.
Yeah, we went Malte Gustafsson, a defenseman at number 11. Maybe we'll shore up the center position and snipe Dave here, and we're going to go Alexander Command, because that's who he was thinking when he teased it earlier. I guarantee it. So take the Swedish 6'1" center at 15 overall.
Alexander Command, yeah. Dave has talked Command up a lot. Now he is heading to St. Louis in our mock draft. All right, Quads, back to you. You're drafting for one of the biggest teams in the league, the Washington Capitals. They love their big boys. Who are you taking?
I'm tempted to take one in Oscar Hemming, but I also really like Ryan Lynn. Just don't know about positional fit for the Caps. I'm gonna go Hemming. I'm gonna go
Hemming
Oscar Hemming.
Hemming was
He's
already
gone.
taken. He was just
Damn it.
taken to Columbus by Harman 2 picks ago.
Damn it. Where's my okay?
Me and
I need a
Quads
live
maybe should
list.
work together on this because you're
Yeah.
at 16, I'm at 18 with both the Caps.
Yeah.
Oh, you know
Okay.
what? A good combo might be. Well, we got 17, so we can't like reveal who's
Dude, I
at
think-
17 between us.
I don't know. Are we
LA,
really gonna
Dave.
let Ryan Lynn fall this far in our mock draft?
Take him.
I don't
take
think
him.
Ryan
Yeah.
Lynn's falling this far. Yeah, Ryan Lynn. Ryan
No?
Lynn.
Yeah. Ryan Lynn going number 16 to the Washington Capitals. All right. It's going to be the LA Kings on the clock at number 17. Dave, you're up.
Yeah, they're like I wonder if he goes a little further, but you know what? If he's available, I can see the LA Kings gunning for a guy like Alexander Command. He just feels like that nice and Anze Kopitar, replenish pick. But I think a guy like Nikita Klepov feels like an LA Kings pick. A bit of a high risk, high reward with him, but he's got all the skill in the world, and he could be a real game changer in that top 6. So I'm gonna go Nikita Klepov at 17 with the LA Kings.
Nikita Klepov at number 17. All right, Harm, back to you. You get Washington's next pick here. Again, this was originally the Anaheim Ducks selection. It was in the John Carlson trade.
Yeah, so we went with a little bit more skill and not so much size with Lynn. And you look at now, you also have Crystal in your system, who's a winger. Cole Hudson. I think we might want a bigger boy here. I think we're gonna go with Oliver Savanto.
Oliver Savanto. Yes, a bigger boy, a guy that I know some people in the chat have talked about maybe falling to the Canucks at 24. He doesn't. He is off the board at 18. All right, Tyson, you're back up for the Utah Mammoth at 19.
Yeah, I'm stuck between two guys right now. One of Dave's guys and another. I'll leave Dave's guy on the board for him. I'm going to take Elton Hermanson at 19. He's a skilled winger. He's a Swede, but kind of fits profile of what the Mammoth have. So I'll grab Elton Hermanson.
Elton Hermanson. And you guys have said on Blackfish, every time I tune in, you have to remind people this is a very Swedish heavy draft, especially the first round or two. Like there's a good generation of young Swedish players that have come up, and you're going to see a lot of them drafted within the first 50 or so picks. There's going to be a lot of Swedes that go. All right.
Yeah, it's a bad year to not like Swedes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. We're on to pick number 20. Originally, the Edmonton Oilers pick. It now belongs to the Buffalo Sabres. This was another pick just within the last week. The Michael Kesselring trade this pick ends up with Buffalo. Quads, who are you taking?
Maxim Sovolovsky. Can I do that? Like, he hasn't been taken. 6'8". I was reading Steven Ellis's mock draft, dailyfaceoff.com. Listen to this line, okay? He's a truly terrifying human being when it comes to one-on-one situations. He makes it his life mission to kill you. There isn't a single player that he's afraid of, yet everyone is terrified about the possibility of Sokolovsky adding another dimension of speed to his game in the future. That is a profile that I just look at as a home run swing, and I'm taking that swing. I am absolutely going with Sokolovsky here.
Buffalo going for the big boy. I mean, they've
6'8".
That, like, could you imagine him and Tage Thompson on the ice at the same time? Like, that's not going to be fun to go up against. All right, Dave, you are up for Philadelphia at pick number 21.
Well, that worked out just perfectly because I think this next kid he's just a Philly Flyer. He seems like a talkative guy, but I'm going and running up and taking Adam Novotny. This is who Tyson was alluding to. I just love, he's a one-shot goal scorer, and he plays every single shift like it's his last. So I really like the grit that he brings, and I just think he's a perfect Philly Flyer and Rick Tocchet guy.
Tocchet gets his guy, Novotny, at 21. All right, Harman, back to you for the other Pennsylvania team, the Pittsburgh Penguins, picking at 22.
Bunch of intriguing ways we could go here. I think Kyle Dubas. I could see Kyle Dubas taking the upside swing on an undersized production guy. We're gonna go Tommy Blyle on the back end. Try and see if he can become a poor man's Lane Hudson.
Tommy Blyle at number 22 to the Penguins. All right, Tyson, you're drafting for the Boston Bruins now at number 23. Not sure if S. Little Boston is in the chat today or not. I'm sure if he is, he'll have some reaction to this pick.
Yeah, I'm thinking we go center. Sure that up. I know they got Higgins, but he might project to be a winger at the NHL, skilled winger at the NHL level. Let's go Ilya Morozov, 6'3", out of the NCAA. Nice big defensive centerman for the Bruins at 20.
Bruins landing the big center. And that brings us to Quads picking for the Vancouver Canucks. Now, this was, of course, originally the Minnesota pick. Lots of talk in our chat for weeks about who's going to be available at 24 for the Vancouver Canucks. Quads, you're stepping up. Ryan Johnson lasted a month on the job. You've now replaced him. Who are you taking?
I am sprinting to the stage and taking Mathis Preston. And on my drive to the rink for the draft, I'm listening to the Blackfish episode with Mathis Preston. Everybody else should as well. Mathis Preston, a guest with these guys just recently. The write-up's also at CanucksArmy.com. Mathis Preston is absolutely the pick in this spot for me.
Mathis Preston. Obviously, Dave, Tyson, you guys just talked to him over the weekend. Anything you guys want to add about Mathis Preston?
He was just talking about how much it would mean to him to be drafted by the Canucks. Like, he was saying that he was 4 years old playing mini sticks in a Canucks jersey. Like, you talk about what's going on right now around the league with, Brady Tkachuk wanting out of Canada, but that guy is going to want to play for the Canucks. So I think it's a home run pick. And he was supposed to be a top 10 pick coming into the year. So he's still got all this skill. I think other prospects were polled and it was like, oh, who's the most skilled? And Preston was right up there, like right up with McKenna. So I think it's a home run pick if he's there.
Yes, Mathis Preston, for those who don't know, from Penticton, BC, originally with the Spokane Chiefs, was traded to the Vancouver Giants. So the Canucks would be drafting him out of the Vancouver Giants, which is just something we don't see. I can't recall the last time the Canucks actually took a Vancouver Giant. So I think that would be, as Tyson said, just kind of that perfect match. Dave, anything else to add on Preston?
No. I unfortunately, we were there in long story, but I ended up having to miss it. So it was our boy Jacob that ran the interview.
All right, on to number 25. Who's up? Dave, you're up. You're picking for the Ottawa Senators at 25. Obviously, this pick in the Brady Tkachuk trade.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna finally take him off the board. I know Calgary fans are not going to be happy with this, but I'm finally gonna go with a Soyuz BC, and I'm gonna go with Liam Ruck. Just gonna show up some. We already got Wyatt Cullen. Some of that offense, and now we're gonna pair him with Liam Ruck. So he's going to the Ottawa Senators.
All right,
man.
Sorry, go ahead, Harm.
No, I have Calgary at 30, so I was like, I'm taking Liam, and I can take Marcus too. Do you have another? Does Ottawa have another? Well, yeah, I guess they have 32 as well. They can take both.
Well,
okay.
So, those who don't know, the Rucks they've committed to go to North Dakota next year, and I happened to see their post on Instagram about it. They have a shared Instagram account. So, like, the whole discussion of if you draft one, do you have to draft the other? I mean, these guys are so close. I think absolutely you probably need to pick both. And yeah, Harm lining it up for the Flames, that would absolutely make sense. But hey, Ottawa in a position as well if they so choose to take both Rucks. Sorry, which one did you actually take first? It was Liam.
I took
first.
Liam, and
right.
I think I might be mistaken, but I believe they did commit for the next season. So I think next year they're going back to Medicine Hat.
Sorry, one more year in Medicine Hat. Yes. Okay. Well, we'll see if, when you commit that extra year in advance, especially if you're a first-round pick, you never know how things go. You might even never end up in the NCAA. All right, next pick is back to Tyson. Back to Harman.
Harman.
Yes, Harman drafting for the New York Rangers at 26 overall. This was a pick that was originally the Dallas Stars. Was involved in the Rantanen trade and then the Keandre Miller trade. That's how it ended up with New York.
Yeah, so I could see there's been a lot of chatter about Rangers really wanting centers. They haven't drafted many. Their system is light on them, and I know Dave took Caleb Malhotra for them in that 5th spot. So they don't need to take another center, but I could absolutely see the Rangers seeing this as an opportunity to stock up and just double down on the position. So I'm going to lean toward Jack Hextall here and take him at 26.
All right. Tyson, you're on the clock. 27, the San Jose Sharks, another pick that was traded. This was in the Kesselring trade as well, got moved around, ended up with San Jose from Buffalo. Who you taking for the Sharks?
I'm stuck between two players, JP Hurlburt and Xavier Villeneuve. I think Hurlburt kind of plays like Tyler Toffoli a little bit, so get him in there once Toffoli's kind of ready to move on. I think that makes sense, but I mean, they went Stenberg at second overall, so if you got a chance to maybe get like a Lane Hudson light and Xavier Villeneuve at 27, I think that's the pick.
Sharks landing their offensive defenseman Villeneuve at 27. All right, Quads, you get to draft for the Montreal Canadiens at 28. Who are you taking?
Is Hankinson still there? William Hankinson?
Yes, he is.
Such a quad
he's my
pick.
He's 6'4", 207 pounds. That's my guy. William, he's a great pick. Yeah, I don't even want to hear it. That's a great pick. Yeah, give me him.
All right, adding some size to the Montreal Canadiens.
Jacob, what do you think about that?
Sure, why not? No, I'm
not even a reach. He's
not
23 on Daily Faceoff mock draft.
Yeah, I had no problem with it. I mean, again, Montreal's in such a interesting spot with how young their team is, and they still have a few prospects. Like this is a player that they don't need to draft a guy to be in the NHL next year or the year after. Like they can take an upside swing, or they can take a player that they might use as a trade piece, right? So as a Habs fan, I think this draft really, picking 28 after all those years picking in the top 10, I'm kind of just good with whoever they take. I'm not going to be picky. An asset is an asset for them. So, Dave, you are now picking for the St. Louis Blues at 29. Originally, this was Colorado's pick. Was traded in the Brock Nelson and then Braden Shen trades to end up with the St. Louis Blues.
Could I get a recap? So, who did they take with their first two picks? It was Malte Gustafsson, correct?
And Alexander Command.
And then Alexander
Command.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's nice. Okay, so we've shored up a nice two-way defenseman, a nice two-way center. I'm going to go with a little bit of offense, and I'm going to finally take JP Hilbert off the board. They're going to go for their goal scorer. They already have a nice one in Justin Carbonneau, but when you've gone a bit safe in your first two picks, I just think this is a nice swing for you.
JP Hurlbert from Allen, Texas, heading to St. Louis, Missouri. All right, we're almost at the end here. The Calgary Flames on the clock with pick 30. Originally, Vegas's pick. This was in, I guess would have been in the Hannafin deal. Yes, it was. Okay, anyways, Harman, you're on the clock.
Okay, so I feel like Calgary here, they've drafted so many players over the last number of years, had so many picks that I think you want to take upside swings, especially when you look at that Calgary system. They don't have many game breakers. I'm not going to lie, the temptation to screw Ottawa over by taking Marcus Ruck, and then, all right, you're going to have to pay extra to acquire him in a trade is high, but I'm going to take Marcus Nordmark, one of the more, I think, talented but polarizing players there. I think it's worth the upside swing there for Calgary in that spot.
Yeah, when you have multiple first round picks, and again a team that has drafted a lot in the first round in recent years, take that upside swing. Marcus Nordmark goes to Calgary. They're going to have two more picks coming up just outside of our mock draft range. They pick at 35 and 36 as well. All right, Tyson, you are on the clock for the Stanley Cup champion Carolina Hurricanes at 31.
What I think they might do is take Nicholas Aram-Olsson. It just seems like a Carolina player, like highly skilled winger who, from a Norway, I think. So like from a European country, they seem to always hit on those prospects. But I just can't imagine. I don't even think that Maddox Dejanay is going to be here at 31. So I'm just going to take him, 6'4". He could be that Jordan Staal replacement if he does retire in a few years. So Maddox Dejanay for the Canes at 31.
Maddox Dejanay to the defending Cup champions. All right, we've got 2 picks left. Quads, you are on the clock for the Ottawa Senators at number 32. Someone in the chat pointed something out. So Ottawa cannot trade this pick. It was what you guys were talking about as a result of the punishment that got it demoted. But once you draft a player, you can trade the player, right? The restriction won't extend onto a player's career. So if you really wanted to move it, you just work out the deal, handshake under the table. Who do you want at 32? We'll draft him and trade him to you. But anyways, besides the point. Quads, who are you taking for Ottawa at number 32?
The Ottawa Senators select 7-footer Alexander Karmanov and trade it to the Canucks. I'm joking. The Senators obviously take Marcus Ruck here. If Liam Ruck's they've already taken Liam Ruck. Yeah, Marcus Ruck. In the mock draft, 100% it's Marcus Ruck here.
All right, the Rucks unite in Ottawa. They just lost out on a brother, having to trade their captain to reunite with his in Florida. Well, they've got themselves a pair to develop now with the Rucks. All right, Dave. Finally, we are at pick number 33. First pick of the second round, but because it belongs to the Vancouver Canucks, we wanted to extend this draft by 1. Who are you taking for Vancouver with their 3rd selection?
There are a couple names that I would pick here if we didn't go Mathis Presson with the 24th pick. But since there's, we've got a bit, high risk, high reward with the offense, I do think there are a couple names that the Canucks could still get in the 40s to make that kind of, higher end offensive pick. So I'm going to go a little bit, still an upside swing, but a little more safer. And I think I'm going to surprise Tyson with this one because it's a little bit off my own board. But I'm actually going to go Ryan Rubrick from the Niagara Ice Dogs here. 6'3", 215-pound centerman. All the offensive potential in the world. He was such a high point producer as a rookie last season in the OHL. He was a guy that came in the season with potential top 10 aspirations. And, there were some issues, for him, it's more of a consistency thing. There's some, does he always care? Does he, bring it every shift? But if they can kind of squeeze that out of him, I do think, at 33 overall, like you could be getting a real nice steal here. It all just, it's a matter of, the development crew being able to kind of get that out of him. And so I'm going to go Ryan Rubrick at 33, which is completely off my board. So
yeah. Ryan
I love the pick.
Yeah, he's
the only thing.
Sorry, go ahead,
Jacob.
I was just going to say
twice.
he scored 99 goals in his OHL career, parts of 4 seasons in the OHL. So he's put the puck in the net at that level.
Yeah, he had 30 goals in 49 games this year. Like he's a goal scorer. The only thing, like Dave mentioned, it was like, a little bit of that compete, and that's what Dave always loves to look for in a prospect. But I mean, if you bring him into Manny Malhotra's system, if he's still here by the time Rubrick is ready, I mean, you're going to basically be able to teach that to him. And I also wonder, like, coming into the year, he was supposed to go in the top 10, like he was supposed to be the top center in the class, and then do you think like this is a little bit of a wake up call? Like, hey, the only reason I'm falling is because I'm not competing hard enough. Like, okay, now I'm getting picked in the 2nd round. Like, okay, I got to really like show up here and give it my all. Otherwise, this NHL career might not be for me.
Yeah.
Also, is it a concern that we took 2 guys for the Canucks in Preston and Rubrick who were supposed to go in the top 10, but then fell? Like, is that bad?
I don't think so. I mean, at 24 and 33, I don't think it's bad.
Right.
I was also thinking Brooks Rogowski here. I also had Casey Mutrin as, kind of potential guys. Like Brooks Rogowski is a 6'7", 230-pound centerman. Like he could easily go here. And I know I saw Quads' eyes perk up there. Like I was thinking of it. But I do think Ryan Rubrick overall has some pretty good potential here. So I'm going.
Another question for
Rogowski's
you,
been my
Dave.
guy since Dave first told me about his height.
Didn't Rubrick play on the wing this year?
Yeah, with Riley Patterson at some points.
Yeah. So we didn't draft the Canucks at center the whole time. Do you think that's actually going to happen?
Well, Rubrick can be a center. He was playing,
With that, our mock draft is complete. Tyson, Dave, thank you guys very much for joining us. We appreciate you guys coming on. Make sure to catch Blackfish. You guys are going to have another episode this week. Last week, your draft week here. So you guys will be will be breaking everything down. And then Dave is off to Buffalo covering the draft for Canucks Army. So make sure you guys are following along. He'll be posting a bunch of stuff to social media. We'll be sharing his insights. And I think, Dave, we're going to try and get you back on the show at some point here, probably before you head off to Buffalo as well. And then Tyson, is the plan for you to still be live doing a watch along during the draft?
Oh yeah, that's the plan.
Great.
On Friday, live draft show. So yeah, looking forward to that. We'll have Dave come on for 5-10 minutes whenever he can make the time at the draft, and hopefully Stephen Ellis as well. And we have a few other guests lined up for the show as well. So
Fantastic.
it'll be good.